Good morning, it's Monday the 22nd of March and it's really lovely to be here with you again for Avon Valley Church's Thought for the Day. Especially now as we are slowly returning to some sense of normality with the schools reopening, many of us receiving our vaccines and the spring definitely springing. The working title for today's thought was Proverbs 13 verse 16. Agree or disagree. And I'd like you to keep that in mind as you listen. How many times have I heard or said, think before you act, think before you speak, or maybe act in haste, repent at leisure? I know that these words tumble freely from my mouth when talking to my students and children. Should I, however, have taken a dose of my own medicine recently? Remote learning has taken a huge toll on students all around the world, and in an attempt to combat this, my school launched the Bournemouth School 100 Challenge over February half term. The challenge was for all students and staff to complete 100 of anything physical. We had a PE teacher do 100 keepy-uppies with a golf club and a golf ball. Some students ran 100 kilometres, not all in one go though, and people swimming 100 strokes in the sea in February, to name but a few. My offering, I decided, was to be 100 laps of Fording Bridge Rec. So I calculated the number of days I had available and divided it into 100, coming up with a figure of 12 laps per day. Well, that's not too bad, I thought. At this point, it is important to remember that I regularly walk around the rec with Tilly, and I should have realised that one lap takes approximately 10 minutes. Had I acted out of knowledge here, I would have done some more maths and worked out that 12 laps a day would take approximately 120 minutes, or 2 hours. Recalling the sayings in my opening paragraph, I wonder if we can place them in the Bible, or are we even aware of the origins of these reprimands? Proverbs 13 verse 16 reads as follows: Every prudent man acts out of knowledge, but a fool exposes his folly. That's the New International Version of it. Focusing on the second part of this proverb initially, the Rainbow Good News Bible for Children says, but stupid people advertise their ignorance, which is what I then went on to do, albeit in a very good intentioned way. I decided to write a daily blog about my walk and post it on my tutor group page on MS Teams, that's our virtual learning network, in the hope that it would encourage my students to get involved in the challenge. Day one of this blog ended up with the following words. By the time the maths had filtered through my brain, I had already started. So in the infamous words of Magnus Magnusson, I've started so I'll finish. And an excerpt from day 2, Monday the 15th of February 2021 reads, having only managed 9 laps on Saturday, I had to complete 14 today. I'm adding an extra one each day to make up for my failure. Day 3, Tuesday the 16th of February 2021. It rained a lot overnight, and as you can see, the footpath to the park was flooded. I decided to break up my laps today, 7 in the morning and 7 in the afternoon. The park was deserted this morning, only me and the swans, but the sun was out this afternoon along with lots of other dog walkers and children playing. I shall pause here for a little reflection. What had advertising my ignorance really cost me? Well, as far as I could see, nothing but time. On the other hand, what had I gained? Well, there was the obvious exercise and related benefits, but also the opportunity to watch the park come to life, to marvel at the grace and elegance of the swans, to wonder at how the young people gathering in the meeting shelter were not freezing cold in their minimalist clothing, and to reminisce as I walked past the play park about the many, many happy hours spent there with my children when they were younger. Having decided to break my laps down into morning and afternoon sessions, I also decided to do 4 laps in one direction and 3 in the other. And this was a revelation to me. The river, the park, indeed everything looked completely different when approaching it from the opposite direction. I noticed that I could see the town hall clock coming from the car park end of the park towards the play park. I noticed there was a small holding with horses and a tractor on the far bank. I even noticed a tributary flowing past the small holding into the main river, none of which I had ever seen before. Is it therefore possible, I wondered, to approach life, problems, challenges from a different angle and find a different or even better solution? Returning to the blog, Wednesday, 17th of February 2021, day 4. I am happy to say I had the company of my daughter this morning for 7 laps of the park, but sad to say it has rained heavily all day, and so now I am again behind schedule. Here is where the first part of the proverb becomes relevant. Had I heeded Proverbs and thought before I acted, I would have missed this precious time with Tilly, a time to chat, a time to cherish as she prepares to go away to university. Day 5 of the blog, Thursday the 18th of February 2021. Another day of 2 parts, but many weathers. 8 laps in the morning and 8 in the afternoon. Cold wind and rain in the morning, and we started at 8 a.m, so the park was pretty much empty. Around lunchtime, the sun came out. Perfect time for the second 8 laps, or so I thought. But if you look very carefully at the picture, you will see hailstones on the ground, whilst there was bright blue sky on the other side of the park. How very odd. It's strange, isn't it, how we can have such different weathers next to each other? But it occurred to me that it is also possible for someone to be smiling, the sunshine, yet hiding deep pain in the background, the hail, and that thinking before you act or speak to another person may be the true meaning of this verse in Proverbs. Day 9, Monday the 22nd of February 2021. Well, somebody, and it wasn't me, had the bright idea of downloading Strava to see how far it actually was to walk around the park. And so, 5 laps this morning is 2.49 miles. Times that by 20, because there are 20 lots of 5 in 100, that makes 48.9 miles. And I did have a couple of people check my maths there. I can't believe it. I am so pleased with my efforts. During my walk, I stopped and chatted with a number of people, both known and unknown to me. I listened to the radio, learnt some interesting facts, laughed a lot at comedy programmes I would never have listened to if I had been at home, breathed in the beauty I saw around me, and shook my head in amazement at the brave ladies swimming in the river every morning. None of which I could have done had I not embarked on this challenge. Would I have still done this if I had thought first? I honestly don't know. But to be honest, the first couple of days were a real struggle, but once I got into the swing of it, I actually really enjoyed it. So, thinking back to my working title, do I agree or disagree with Proverbs 13 verse 16? Well, as with much in life, it's not a black and white situation. I definitely agree that we should be thoughtful in our actions towards others and should, wherever possible, avoid actions that can cause harm to ourselves or others. I am, however, glad that on this occasion I did not think, but I jumped in with both feet. I gained so much more than I ever thought possible by walking around the wreck. I would like to thank Andrew Broad for giving me the idea of turning this little adventure into a thought for the day, offering me the opportunity to reflect upon it in a much greater depth than I would have done otherwise. Thank you for listening, and I hope that I have encouraged you to be brave, or step out of your comfort zone, or to try and see things from a different perspective. Until next time, God bless you all.